It can be really difficult to find store-bought granola that isn't absolutely packed with added sugars and oils. What's really wonderful though is that making your own granola at home is surprisingly simple, and it's every bit as delicious and satisfying without all the unhealthy ingredients. So let me show you how to make it. Hi friends, I'm Stephanie. I'm a whole food plant-based chef and cooking instructor, and this is my often shared, quickly devoured homemade granola recipe. I think you're really gonna love this one. It is an easy breakfast, of course, served with fresh berries and a plant-based milk or a yogurt. Of course, you can grab a couple of handfuls of it as an afternoon snack, or my personal favorite, I love it on top of a homemade acai bowl alongside some fresh fruit. So let's make this together now. It's so simple, you're gonna love it. We'll be using some fig butter in this recipe as a way to sweeten the granola with mostly fruit. And in my last video, I showed you how to make your own out of this world vanilla cinnamon fig butter. So check that out if you're curious. But if you can't find fresh figs to make this, or you don't have time, you could head to Trader Joe's and pick up a jar of their fig butter. It does contain some added sugar, but not too much. So this is a nice substitute. But if you don't live near a Trader Joe's and you want to make this in a pinch, you could substitute applesauce for the fig butter and add a little bit of extra cinnamon. Apple butter and pumpkin butter would be another great option. If you would like to go that route, of course, you'll want to check the sugar content of those if you're buying them at the store, and you want to make this as healthy as possible. As for the rest of the ingredients, the lineup is pretty straightforward. You'll also want to preheat your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit and line a rimmed baking sheet with parchment paper or a silicone baking mat. Okay, enough talking, let's get started. We'll measure out a 1/4 cup each of our raw almonds and pecans and just empty these out onto our cutting board. We're going to give these a rough chop. Next, in a large mixing bowl, combine 2 cups of rolled oats with the 1/4 cup of hazelnut flour, 1/4 cup of sliced almonds, the raw walnuts and pecans you just chopped, a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 2 tablespoons of hemp seed, along with 2 tablespoons of ground chia or flax. And I'll use a wooden spoon to stir this all together until it's evenly combined. In a separate, smaller bowl, we'll combine the wet ingredients. These include a 1/4 cup of our vanilla cinnamon fig butter, or of course the applesauce or apple butter or pumpkin butter if you're making the substitutions that I mentioned earlier. A 1/4 cup each of raw almond butter and pure maple syrup. I usually use a silicone spatula to get all of the ingredients out of the measuring cups, plus 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then stir this together until it's smooth. It'll look a little something like this. Smells amazing, by the way. Next, add the wet ingredient mixture to the dry ingredients. And then gradually stir everything together until it's well incorporated. I usually alternate between stirring and then smashing the granola back down with the back of the spatula in order to make everything evenly combined. Then turn your granola out into your prepared baking pan. All of it. And then I'll use the back of my spatula to spread the granola out evenly over the pan so that it bakes evenly. Once this is all spread out evenly, I will slide it into the preheated oven and set a timer for 20 minutes. Now my toaster oven happens to be large enough to accommodate a full-size baking pan. If yours isn't, then you would just use the regular oven for this. And now I'll set a timer for 20 minutes. I'll pull this out of the oven. And you can see it's already started to turn golden, but we've got one more thing to do. We'll just grab a spatula that looks like this and run it underneath the granola and flip it over so that the granola will bake evenly. Once the granola is flipped over and spread evenly once again, it should look like this, and we'll put it back into the oven for another 20 minutes. Once the granola has baked for 40 minutes, it is basically ready to go. You'll just need to let it cool in the pan, and it will harden as it continues to cool. But I will say it's already really delicious while it's still warm. Once the granola has cooled to room temperature, you can transfer it to an airtight food storage container or a ball jar, and you can store it in the refrigerator or in the pantry. I really doubt it will last long enough to go bad on the counter because it is absolutely irresistible. And that's how easy it is. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you make this recipe, please snap a photo, share it on social media, and don't forget to tag me at Green Sage Life because I would love to see it and cheer you on. And of course, I'd love to see you for future videos, so please consider subscribing to the channel, which is the best way to ensure that you won't miss any of the whole food plant-based goodness I've got coming up. I hope you'll love this recipe as much as I do. Again, thank you so much for watching, friends, and for cooking along. I'm Stephanie of Green Sage, wishing you good health and delicious food. I'll see you again next time.